every woman that gets to come here to create a family or foundation for their life with their husband or their man that they meet, that is a blessing.
The Catwalk podcast showcases the greatest of the people of the Permian Basin through partnering and conversation with high-level leaders, social entrepreneurs, nonprofit leadership, and industry executives.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Catwalk Show. I'm your host, Jay Whitlow. I would like to introduce to you our very special guest today, Ginamarie Soto. Ginamarie is originally from the East Coast and comes from a family of entrepreneurs. After getting married, Ginamarie moved to Midland. Once here in Midland, Ginamarie owned a oil field service company of up to 56 trucks and was a successful female business owner in a male-dominated industry. Expecting her first child, Ginamarie began looking for a mompreneur-style business opportunity. She soon realized that a town the size of Midland was without a successful brand like the Little Gym. She took the plunge and bought that franchise. Launched prior to 2020, Ginamarie and the Little Gym set a record of 500 memberships. Then the pandemic hit, and everything shut down. She managed, however, to survive, and a year later bought her second franchise, Urban Air Adventure Park, again hitting an incredible record of 4,000 memberships within 3 months. Not done yet, Ginamarie added her third franchise, XP League, which is hosting esports gaming. And coming soon to Odessa is Urban Air Park at the Music City Mall. We are thrilled and excited to welcome to the show the Urban Air mom, Ginamarie Soto.
Elevate your operation with Performance Chemical Company, the pioneers in redefining chemical solutions for the oil and gas industry in the Permian Basin. Unveiling groundbreaking ideas since 2017, our dry chemistry plant stands as a testament to innovation. Our products and services revolutionize water treatment, production, midstream, and saltwater disposals. We're your strategic partners in optimizing investments, slashing operating expenses. Performance Chemical Company. How you get there matters.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to the Catwalk. So glad that you're joining with us. I'm your host, Jay Whitlow, and as always, sitting right across the table from me is the great Chris Stegall. Chris, what's up?
Not a lot. How are you?
I'm doing good. You got your car back, right? You got all that taken care of from your wreck?
All done.
Yeah?
Thank God. It's all done.
Yeah? And they caught the guy, right?
They did. I got a call from the district attorney's office today saying that they got him and they're working on terms for his release.
Right.
So we'll see where that goes.
Awesome. Well, somebody else who had some car issues is my good friend sitting our guest here. This is Ginamarie Soto. Welcome to the Catwalk.
Thank you.
And
It's
you
great to be
had
here.
your car
Yes, the
through
tornado.
the tornado. What happened to it?
Tornado took a little bit of a turn on it, and it was fine. It was at the BMW dealership, and it just got a sunroof that crushed in and a watermelon size,
Yeah.
issue on the roof. And so, like everyone else, everyone's safe, but the car's a little dinged up.
It's always something,
always
isn't it? It's
something.
always something. Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. How many tickets have you ever gotten? Like speeding tickets?
2.
2? Like
Only
2
2.
recently or 2 in your whole life?
Ever.
Right? What? How fast were you going?
So the most recent one was right before COVID, New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
going into 2020. And I was Uber driving. We just moved here 6
Right.
months ago, and I was in Lubbock, and I was Uber driving, and the interstate was 65 miles an hour normally, but it was under construction, so it dropped to 55. Well, I was looking for the 55 marker on when it drops, but the sheriff's officer had just pulled somebody over, and his lights were on, and he was parked in front of the 55 mile an hour marker.
Oh, the old I couldn't see the sign
couldn't see it.
gag? Yeah.
Because I drove back.
I've used that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove all the way back around to
Yeah.
look and see where that sign was because
And it was there.
It was there, but it was right where he was parked.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
And he had his lights on still, so I couldn't see
That's
anything.
crazy. Ginamarie, how many tickets
Oh,
have you
gosh.
gotten? Can you share that?
I don't know. We can.
More than
I've gotten one of those where I was in a construction zone and I didn't realize that you're, in a construction zone and it does drop. And
so more than 2?
yeah, definitely more than 2.
Yeah, I'm right
I'm
there.
an East Coast driver, so
Yeah, I've gotten way too many tickets for my age because they usually say you should get one every 5 years, and I'm way over that.
yes, it's
What's funny is I speed a lot. I drove a news van in New York City, right? So anytime we would do something outside of the city,
Yeah.
I'm booking it.
I was going to say, you can't speed in New York
No,
City.
not in the city.
No.
Yeah.
The moment you hit the freeway,
Yeah.
it's everybody get out of the way.
Yeah.
So have you ever lost your license?
No.
No? Have you ever lost yours?
No.
Okay, so I don't know if you watch social media and stuff, but recently there was this guy, Corey Harris. He's from Michigan, and he lost his license and had to appear to the judge, and he couldn't go, so he had to go on Zoom call. You know, Zoom was the big thing back in COVID or whatever, and so this was the only way that he could approach the judge was on Zoom. So he logs in, and they're asking him about logging in, and he says, this is what he said, he was going on to court for an expired license, so he didn't have one. He was driving up to his doctor's office while on Zoom with the judge and said, just a minute, I need to park, and I'll be ready to go through the court hearing. And the judge goes, wait a minute, you're driving with an expired license to the court hearing. Have you ever done anything that silly?
Yeah.
No, but
I've been
what
through.
there's more to that story. So it wasn't an expired license. He had a suspended license
Suspended, that's right.
in another state, but never had a license at all to drive in the state of Michigan.
And yet he's driving to his court hearing on Zoom call.
Right.
That's
So-
got to be the most bonehead thing I ever.
And he said he was driving his wife for a medical issue that happened earlier that day, and he was like trying to get her to the hospital.
Blame it on the wife.
Right. And then comes to find out, he was like, well, my license should have been renewed already 2 years ago, but there's a court mistake. And then the judge comes back. So first off, the internet makes fun of him
Yes.
for what happens.
That's where I saw
Second,
it.
Then he says his driver's license should have been reinstated. So the internet's now feeling bad they made fun of him. And then the
course.
judge came back and said, you never had a license to begin with.
So he was double whammied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was just spinning a yarn the whole time.
That's true. That's true. Well, I hope that none of us will do anything that silly ever. But I know we have a great guest with us today, Ginamarie, and I know you got a great story, and I want to hear that story. So we're grateful. Thank you for
thanks
your
for the
time.
opportunity. This is
So
great.
let's start. Our viewers, listeners may not know. They may have been to Urban Air. They may have been to some of those places, but they don't know the person behind that. So would you just walk us through like where you're from,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit about your childhood, get us up to maybe college time in your life?
Yeah, I'm one of three girls. My father raised us to be entrepreneurs. I'm a Arizona Sun Devil. Graduated from Arizona State. I went to school there, but also in my 20s, I went to New York City. I was living in New York, got to experience a really important part of life there that became, what I am today. So my adult life was really a New Yorker. But I kind of lived in Chandler, Arizona that looked like Midland, Texas. And it was amazing. Yeah, it was. I rode my horse on the 101 freeway, which is now where Airgas put their tunnel and air and so they could hook up to all the fab plants for Intel. So I lived in like a desert that looks like Midland. It was being built for fab plants for Intel, and my father was building these, oxygen tanks and entrepreneur, and just got to experience the world of entrepreneurship. But it was very slow and good at being raised in such a small town like a Chandler, Arizona, back when there was like 100,000 people. And I relate it to Midland. And then I get to go to the big city of New York, kind of by myself, be able to experience some really life-changing events. Got to go to school there and got to hustle, got to be stronger, thicker skin, and learned how to really get in the grit of work. And I think it changed me. And then, but for the good. And then got lucky enough to have a great education at Arizona State. Then got to go to University of Texas, and that's just kind of where I landed. Met my husband on a fun little trip to Vegas. Some people know this adventure, but he was there for a world powerlifting meet, and I was there with some girlfriends, and it was kind of one of those glances at the Aria, and I fell in love with my husband, and a year later, I ended up in Midland, and we have an 8-year-old, and love the fact that I get to raise my child, raise our child. We only have one, in an environment that feels safe. It's not a New York style lifestyle. I get to have an entrepreneur life. It's been good to me. Midland's been good to me. The people have been good to me, supportive, and I don't think you can get that entrepreneur spirit in New York or anywhere where I lived. I don't think Arizona is even be able to put that in play. I think I'm really blessed to be where I'm at today in Midland.
Now, there's a lot to unpack
Yes,
with what
there's
you
a
just
lot.
gave me,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna pull back onto a few things. So you rode a horse
Yeah.
in Chandler, Arizona.
Yep.
How old were you at that time?
13.
13.
12. Yeah.
So are you a country girl?
Yeah. I mean, I raised a horse. I barrel raced. I loved.
Wait, you
we had
barrel
acreage.
raced?
Yeah. We had acreage, and just I loved horses. And instead of a car, got a horse, and it was great. Kept me out of trouble. And
Did you ever have dreams of going into the rodeo
No.
or anything like that? or-
no, but I just you're just you get the salt of the earth type of person when you
Right.
got the horses, and I think that was I feel like I wanted the city, and I missed the city.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was drawn to the city of New York and just being Brooklyn and Jersey. And I'm full Italian. My father's an immigrant of Italy.
Right.
And so, there was an itch I had to scratch and get to New York, and I felt that way as I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful to be able to be raised in such a good upbringing in Chandler, and be able to I don't know, kind of just slow it down, and then really be able to get good education, and then go into a opportunity of school at Arizona State, and then take that to New York and travel that road. It was good.
What was your degree at Arizona State?
I went for interdisciplinary studies. Interdisciplinary studies.
That's a big
let's
word.
do that again.
And we're all college graduates here, and I can't say it.
Disciplinary studies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically you get to build your own degree. So I had a nonprofit administration degree, and then I had a public relations degree, and then you can put business management. So I got to go for basically 3 majors in one, and it went really well because I got the opportunity to intern at the Phoenix Suns. I got to internship at McDonald House Charities for a capital campaign. I got to work for some really interesting people. That landed me to work for the governor. I worked for Governor Napolitano in the volunteerism commission for just nonprofit. For the government of Dr. Napolitano. And then Napolitano left and worked for Obama as
Right.
the Department of Homeland Security. And then I got to work for Jan Brewer. So I got to, work for a Democrat and a Republican in Arizona. It was very
both
interesting.
sides,
Yeah,
and-
it is
right.
very. And they ask you at the interview, do you want to work with her or work for her or with her? And you had to answer the right question if you want to keep going. So I did the right thing. I answered the right question. But it was nice because, you just, in volunteerism and nonprofits, you just have one mission, and
Right.
to have that mission of that nonprofit, and it really isn't a Republican or Democrat.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that. But that's where I landed. That I think that piece of just being able to make a business and do nothing with little money and make a business of nonprofit, it becomes a world of you got to hustle for those small dollars. And nonprofit is same thing as an entrepreneur, I think. And it's just there's not a lot of money coming in, and you got to figure it out.
Do you think the entrepreneurial spirit that you have was first born from your father?
Yes.
And then that was just pushed into you?
Yes.
And that's where the legacy has. Do you see yourself pouring that into your son?
Oh, yes. I mean, my son was homeschooled last year because we were going to Jackson, Mississippi, and I was opening up the urban air park in Jackson, Mississippi, and he understood. Since the little gym, I opened the little gym when he was 3 years old. I mean, he lived in the gym with me every day. I mean, he understands, when mom's on the phone, unfortunately, you got to take the call, or you have to make the opportunity to show your child that this is how food's made on the table. This is how you get your clothes. I think as a mom doing it, it looks different than dad. I have to say it's really important that, you have your own career. But I think as an entrepreneur, it's really special to show your child, especially a son too, that mom can bring a lot to the table. And it was a lot. I mean, we opened the little gym when he was 3 years old on January 20th of 2020. And had to shut down the doors. A lot of
You know
moms
what
know
was
this.
coming.
Yeah, I wish I knew what was coming. It was 60 days later. I had 500 members. I had to shut down my door. We were killing it. We were in the President's Circle. We were doing incredibly well in Midland
Right.
for a little gym. And shut the doors down, reopened. Thank God the town of Midland understood that we could pick and choose. And the members, I asked every one of them, called every one of them and said, refund, yes, or would you like to come back? And overwhelming, it was, yeah, we need this to be here. So I lived through COVID. I think it made me stronger. It wasn't the first time something made me strong, so I knew I was going to battle through this, and we came back even stronger. We're back at the same number of members. Little Jim then carried over to Urban Air, and I got the opportunity. Michael Browning Jr., our CEO of Urban Air, is now Unleashed Brands, and they picked up the Little Gym under the umbrella, and I was able to own a Urban Air, and I really I went batting for the big boys because that was a beast, and I got the opportunity, and a bank let me basically travel down that road, and I got lucky enough to find Midland Urban Air.
Well, I want to, before we get to Urban Air and the partnerships and everything that you're in on that, I want to look at life. You were in Arizona, you were riding a horse at 13, going to college at Arizona State, and then you transitioned out to New York, right?
Yes.
Tell me about life in New York. Where did you work? What was going on? You've mentioned a couple times you've had some things that have happened that have made you stronger.
Yeah.
Was there some things that happened in New York that made you stronger?
Yes. After I worked for Napolitano and Brewer, that recognition landed me an opportunity to interview with the Inspector General's office, the Deputy Inspector General's office of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. So any port, any tunnel, any bridge, the World Trade Center, the Holland Tunnel, every single bridge is owned in customs, is owned by the Port Authority.
Right.
And so the Inspector General's office was looking for a certain person to get hired as the Deputy Inspector General's secretary. I literally went in on the 77th floor of Tower 1 in the World Trade Center, interviewed. I didn't have an accent. I was a certain age, and they hired me. And it was a wild interview because I'm 20 years old, and I got this really interesting job. It was a confidential secretary for a big name. My boss was head of customs of 25 years. So was the deputy.
And what year was this?
This is 2000.
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
So I worked there a year on the 77th floor at Tower 1 of the World Trade Center, the first one that was hit. And on that day, I experienced 9/11. And I just turned 21, and it was ironic. My dad really was shocked. I have to say, I had my dad up there on the, so in August, so September 11th happened. In August, he came out. We walked the Brooklyn Bridge during my lunch break, like I always do. It was very surreal. I couldn't believe I was working for these people that were, they were previous, they had really high titles. Head of customs, IRS
big
agents.
gig.
It was a big gig. Yeah, we had a bulletproof glass window. We had some big names walking through there. Police department heads, commissioners. And so it was crazy. And my dad walked up there and looked down on 77 floors of the World Trade Center and couldn't believe his daughter's working on this floor. Got to meet them. And then a month later, the plane hit and or something hit it. And I experienced that, got the opportunity to walk down, get out of there. Thank God unhurt. A little bit rattled. The brain didn't remember a lot, but that's okay. I think that's part of how life works.
Yeah.
But that's what created that risk taking at 21. I don't think I would be the same person if I didn't get the opportunity to face that challenge.
Yeah.
It was crazy to challenge yourself to know that 21 you can have life taken away from you. It's really important that you just feel whatever in your gut and you go with it. I think it just challenges you to just take a risk. If you go through that, then you just really are blessed every day that you know that at 21 that you can take every day and kind of rattle your world and try as hard as you can. And it's good to fail. I think you learn more when you fail. That's a really big motto for my son and I, and to know that you I rather lose and learn something from losing. And I feel like even 9/11, I think took a lot to understand that, the whys and the losing and the pain and the hurt and all the funerals of why. And then you come back from that and you really just tackle life and you just don't take no, you don't give a crap anymore. You take challenges and you know that there's something. If you live through that, then you know there's no. Everyone's going to say yes to you. You're going to try your hardest. And you got that gut feeling. And it's like, I don't know if God gave me that gut feeling, but I'm like, I just listened to it and I don't know, I've been really successful on it.
Yeah, because at 21, I was just trying to make it through psychology class. Right? I didn't have the dream. I didn't have the goal. I didn't have the risk. I was trying to ask this one girl out. I was trying to do all these things. And here it is at 21 for you, life-changing moment that you can't prepare for, right? And I'm sure your dad, he had no idea, obviously, in August what was coming in a month for his daughter. But I wonder if he was thinking back, hey, she's working here in New York. And I remember back when she was 13 riding her horse. And this is, just so far removed from that place. But I applaud you and have seen the things that you have done, which have shaped you and made you who you are. And I applaud you on that because I'm at 57 now, and I think I've not had a 9/11 experience. Of course, I was alive to see it, obviously, but I'm now at that point of I don't give a crap. I've learned now what you learned at 21 so quickly. It's kind of like, you watch people, they lose a parent, they lose somebody, and they have to grow up so fast.
Yes.
It's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, that you grew up pretty quickly in your 20s to something that it takes people to their 40s, 50s, and 60s to learn.
Yeah, I think people waste time in their 20s and they finally figure out, like maybe in their 30s. And there was some delay in that, but that risk, like I'm so grateful I took like 30 years, off that number instead of 50 and feeling like comfortable getting in your skin. I got in my skin right away. I mean, the challenges were so grand, but it also took like 7 years of trying to figure out why it wasn't the right place for me to stay there. I left New York and, but every single bit of learning that I got there, or the sales that I had to work in, or the jobs I had to work 3 jobs. I mean, that life experience, I feel like I could just run circles around any other place I could live, because I feel like that thought process and that stronger mentality and that grit that you get as a New Yorker. Right. There is something about it, and it does make you, it makes you be in that shell, and that gets you that risk faster than sitting in your 20s and kind of piddling around and finish your education. I wanted it done. I wanted my education done. Right. I wanted to just accomplish everything I could, because I didn't know. I feel like the shoe was going to drop on the other foot. Like if I didn't accomplish something, then he gave me this much time. God gave me that much time, and it's like, all right, if you get a year, what else can you do?
Right.
And if I gave you another day, what would God give me? Okay, I'm going to try another day. And I really felt that way. Like if I wasn't disappointing my parents, it wasn't disappointing me. It was like, dang, I didn't accomplish that. So you got to do it now. It's not 2 years later. It's now. That's why I've opened 3 parks in 3 years. I don't want to wait. I don't have time. Yeah. I could be done tomorrow. Like, I know it sounds crazy, and I'm turned 44 like 3 days ago, but like there's no time but now. Right. I mean, I try to explain that, but
well, thank you for sharing that part of your story. It's probably not a fun part to talk about going through that. You said your mind forgot a lot of things and stuff, but thank you for that. And I know everybody has pieces of their story that aren't great, but they make them who they are. But you jumped into the things that you own here, and that's really what I want to focus on. So after you kind of pulled yourself together out of New York, did you move to Midland then, or did you
No,
go
that's
back
when I met my
home? I
husband.
mean, what happened?
Yeah, I finished my education and went on a girls' trip to Vegas and met my husband in Vegas. He was there for powerlifting, and he's never been to Vegas. And literally, we just met at the Aria, and 2 people found each other, never met each other, and I moved out. I think a lot of women fall in love with these oil field men, and they get stuck here. But I don't feel like I got stuck. I felt like my life had changed dramatically. I got a man that understood. It's the grit that I love, the salt of the earth, the realness of really, truly a hardworking man. It's impressive. He's pushed me He's challenged me, ups and downs, of course. It's about 12 years later. It's happened. I met him in 2010.
How did he propose?
He proposed on the Rio Doso golf course.
On the golf course.
On the Rio Doso golf
I thought you were going
course.
to say he was powerlifting.
No, it
something
wasn't
and-
powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rio Doso golf course, and yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, it's been he has his oil,
Yeah.
he does oil, and I do mine thing, and he doesn't cross. It's just a lot of support.
And you started in the oil field, right? You owned a company,
I did.
a service company.
Yeah, I was helping out with a service company. I ran trucks, and that developed another business, and then got the opportunity just to get the foundation of what I have now. I became pregnant, and I realized the oil field is not where I wanted to be. And I wanted to, settle down and find a family. And I felt like the love of what I thought I was creating just financially from the oil field, was definitely my husband's world. But being able to get something for the town as a mother was a really weighing on me. I felt like if I was going to have a child in this town and I was going to live in this town, because I couldn't take my husband away from his work.
Sure.
But I came here to live with him. And I think every woman that gets to come here to create a family or a foundation for their life with their husband or their man that they meet, that is a blessing. And then be able to, my husband makes great money, but I could do my own career and be able to find a foundation to help my son grow in Midland, not leave, not to check out of Midland, but actually make Midland better. And I really wanted to find something as a business owner, an entrepreneur with an entrepreneur spirit, to find something for my child. And I really wanted to search and find that. And I found that with the Little Gym. It really is a great opportunity to put a child very young in a place for child development, meet other moms on the big red mat, we call it, while you're doing the singing and the sign language and all the fun stuff that we develop and we create in the classes at Little Gym, and be able to create that environment for moms to meet each other, for parents to meet each other, because they have the same age of kids. Get the kids together in a non-competitive gymnastics experience, help moms out with drop-ins, and the whole environment of Little Gym was needed, I think, in this town. Obviously, 500 people, 500 kids are using it on a weekly basis. So there's something to be said by that. And to me, I just feel like I'm really blessed that the moms found that and love on that place, because truly that created the foundation for everything else I have. And without their support, I wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. So the Little Gym is not just a place to kids to go play, it's not a high-end babysitting place, right? It is an educational facility.
Right.
There's things going on there. You mentioned something about learning and I guess skill sets that are being taught there. There was nothing like that when I was a parent of younger children.
Yeah.
We had the toe walker.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? And my son would walk on his toes, and we were taking him to therapy. We take him to everything, try to get him to stand down and to loosen the muscles and stuff. But there was never a place like that.
Yeah.
But do you see kids like that who come in and they have something that is just not working right, and through what you're offering them, you see a win there?
Yes.
Do you see success?
Yes, it's social. So Little Gym is based on social development, cognitive development, physical development. So bottom line is gymnastics. And by the way, Little Gym has been around. It's been a franchise for 45 years. It's
Right.
going on 48. That thing has been around, the franchise.
But not here
No, not here.
until you brought it.
In Midland, right? Yeah, and even in Brooklyn, I knew of it. As we were growing up, being in New York, it was wild to think that we could bring something that stable into or that grand that could create child development skills in Midland. Like if they have it in New York and they have it in San Francisco and they have it in Dallas, why couldn't they have it here?
Right.
That's what I kept saying. It was like half the stuff that we have for children are not here. And I didn't want anyone to keep saying we have it in Houston, we don't have it here. It was like the last time I wanted to hear that. And so I did that with the Little Gym. I felt like I did that with the esports of XP League. I did that with Urban Air. I want it to keep bringing the things that they say they don't have in this town and then bring it to Midland and now Odessa. But I feel like the cognitive and the physical and the social development of a child with Little Gym, being in a safe space or being in that space, there was something missing here. And got to go to Lubbock with my son, see it. Lubbock has had the little gym for 10 years, and I recently acquired it. So now I have the little gym Midland, and I bought the little gym Lubbock
Congratulations, yeah.
in March. Yeah, and it's been a real good opportunity to to be able to see that Lubbock loved it, and all those the medical community absolutely loves that place, like you said, for your son. So physical therapy is done. I mean, honestly, kids running around and being in a social environment like that, and having the physical ability of gymnastics to grab the grip of a bar, to flip, so their inner ear fluid is getting flushed. They understand how to roll. They understand how to walk. Moms can go into a class of 10 months to 19 months and realize, my son's at this age, and I see 16 other kids, and I'm going to kind of understand that we're there, or we're here, or we need to work on more grip, or we need to work on more, balance, or we need to work on just more social skills or cognitive, like just, color, shapes, and sizes.
Sure.
It's neat to be in a classroom with others the same age. Sometimes you go into the library and you just see a whole bunch of kids. This is a class setting. You have a 45-minute hour class. You're having the same age. You have a 10-month and 19-month, or you have a 2 years to 3 years, or 4 years to 5 years. And you're seeing a small window of age all together at the same time, no more than 18 kids in a class, 3 instructors for 18 kids. That's a big deal. It's a one-on-one experience. All the kids that go into gymnastics that just maybe want to just know how to do a cartwheel on the playground and be cool like all the other kids that don't want to go into the competitive environment of gymnastics, they come to the little gym, non-competitive, cheaper than a big gymnastics, and get the basics and get the opportunity to learn how gymnastics is. Go to those bigger competitive gyms that are awesome in town. We have such an amazing gymnastics world out here, and be able to start that process. But for the little gym, it's a great starter. And then through COVID, I think we really did help out the moms. Just a quick story, the idea of opening through COVID really came from the moms that were pregnant that couldn't go and see their doctor for OBGYN appointments. You couldn't walk in with your other child. So if you had a 3-year-old and I'm pregnant, what am I going to do with my 3-year-old while dad's at home?
Yeah.
I couldn't. So we were allowing quick $30 drop off while mom goes to the doctor's appointment.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and so that became the MDO program, which you can drop off your kid at any time, the 3-year-olds to 5-year-olds, and be able to drop them off for an hour, for 45 minutes, and be able to have them in an educational program. They get to run around the gym, whether it's raining or storming or, whatever's outside, hot, and they can be in the gym, get their energy out, burn their energy, and then mom can come pick them up, and they got their opportunity to have their time with their friends. But it really helps save that mom through that COVID thought process, and I think that's what did it. Also, physical therapists, all the physical therapies were closed down.
Yeah. There's no other place to go.
Nope. So the physical therapist said, I got to find this kid because this kid is going to learn how to walk. Whether there's COVID or not, we have to teach these children how to walk, or we have to teach these children how to hear, or, there was no place that was opening. And I think that's what happened. The small business owners really had to open their doors safely, very safely, with one person in the building at a time. It was very daunting. And clean everything every hour.
Yeah.
And I think I got the mom's trust. Like, we tried our best to do everything we could to keep it clean, to keep the respect of everyone's medical, thought process. If they wanted to wear a mask, if they didn't want to wear a mask, gloves or not gloves. And I think we did a good job of serving the community. For those kids that still need to learn how to walk and talk and do what they need to do. And we use the little gym in all these different ways. And now we have parent survival night. If you can't find a babysitter, bring them to a little gym, 6 to 9. Mom and dad need a date night, bring them into a little gym. And so to me, you use us in all these different avenues. Camps are great, but really daycare or MDOs are out for the summer. We open all year round. So I feel like birthdays, but little gyms are really special, and it just really works for the mom and the dad, I guess.
So the opposite of that would be Urban Air Adventure Park, right? It's probably not so much for teaching the cognitive development stuff. It's just for pure fun.
Play.
So tell me briefly, what's the best part about Urban Air? Because
Urban
you're
Air
opening
is
your 3rd or 4th one now?
Yeah, this will be my 3rd.
Yeah.
Urban Air Odessa will be the 3rd. Underneath the umbrella of Unleashed Brands, which is our mothership, Little Gym is Little Gym. This is where you grow. You play at Urban Air. And it's
Makes sense.
it's a difference. Yeah. So I would say it's more of a 6-year-old, maybe a 5-year-old's world. You got to be safe. Parents got to obviously be with them. But I would say when my son turned 7, a boy that needed to run and climb walls and
Energy.
get going. Yeah. Little gym is great, but you grow out of the little gym. I wanted to create the big mothership of him able to get everything. Go-kart tracks and the climbing the wall and flying through the sky. And we went to Dallas and we saw it, and I thought, I don't know, I just might as well
It's not a
try this.
trampoline park, right?
It's not a trampoline park because you have a sky rider that can fly through the sky. Then you have the go-karts, so you can drive. Then you have the rock walls. You don't do that in a trampoline park.
Right.
You do in altitude, yes, but there's all these different components of the climbing walls. Then you get the bumper cars. We're going to have massive slides in Urban Air Odessa, which is exciting. And then you can have the birthday parties, but there's not just one small box for a birthday party. We have 8 and 9 rooms, and there's so much more that can happen at Urban Air in regards to just you got the Warrior Course. The Warrior Course is massive, so you can do group events and compete against each other. And I just think it's definitely a 7 to 14-year-old age. And I think that really satisfied my son's energy.
Right.
And I think that, again, we found the Steinmart, and I think it was a blessing. You have to have certain heights for
I love
Urban
the
Air.
location.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if everyone loved the location in the beginning because of the parking with Market Street, but I think they came to love us.
Would be
I know.
bad.
But I didn't have another
When
space.
does Odessa open?
Oh, gosh, Odessa's, everyone pray for me, but December is my opening day. I really want to open in December.
This December.
Yes.
Wow. And
Yeah.
Chris and I walked through it.
Yes.
December is going to be tough.
No, it's not.
You don't think it is?
No, because I have a great contractor. Witz Corporation is incredible. My architects are Pistol architects, and they're incredible. I mean, building it out is not hard. It's getting the attractions from China and bringing them in, and then creating that environment of just making sure all the placements are created. We've done it the same amount of timeline. It's crazy. Listen to this: 3 years in a row, exactly the same timeline.
Really?
Yeah, so I had little Urban Air Midland open, get the attractions on the dock September 11th, which is the craziest date. I literally got them off the ship on September 11th for Midland. Great day, and a great date to start the craziness. Midland opened on December 20th of 2022. And then Urban Air Jackson could have opened. Same dates at the same time. They delivered the attractions almost the same day. We got open. We could have opened December 18th.
Wow.
Yep. And then we're going to do it the exact same timeline. Like, I'm literally living Groundhog Day 3 years in a row. It's wild. And I'm excited.
Great movie.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love him, Bill Murray. And I feel like there's something about knowing that we can aggressively attack the December date, because Christmas is happening. These kids want to go to Christmas break. They want to see this awesome thing. Gift cards can be bought by grandma and grandpa. They can go to this. But Odessa's got the big boy go-karts, like the big ones. I mean, it's Kart 1, and
That's awesome.
to me, I couldn't have it looking like Midland. Odessa just happens to have a perfect spot at the mall with that movie theater, and that movie theater is just a beast. And I also wanted to
that movie theater.
Oh, that movie theater.
So if there is a young girl who's listening, watching, or maybe a young lady who wants to be an entrepreneur, who's got that spirit that you have, what advice would you give them about taking that next step or going for it?
I would just say, just try it. You can fail, and it's okay. I think you're not going to fail because it's in your gut. You're going to have that drive. Don't question yourself too much. I don't know. I don't think there's anything worse or better than failing. I think you learn so much from a failure than a win. I've always taken it that way.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think I love a risk, and I think people just need to try it. Again, you're not going to have another day. You never know, so might as well just try it today.
And you've lived that, that you might not have another day.
Yep.
What's next for you? Are you going to open another? Well, I mean, do you have plans? I'm sure once December this year gets and you launch that, what's next? Or are you going to take a break and
I don't know.
breathe?
I don't know. I might. I don't know. I really love the challenge of seeing another baby open. I mean, this is birthing a 20-pound baby is Urban Air's, but
Right.
I think knowing there's other places like a Jackson, Mississippi, that is good for other towns that don't have anything. The kids need a safe space. I think we need to find that in other places throughout the United States. Being able to open a pilot like a movie theater, and there's so many spaces with these high ceilings that can afford the opportunity to regentrificate an area. I think I like that. So there might be another urban air in another state or another town that I might challenge, but it's always fun to get one started. It's easier to open one than it's harder to open one than have one open.
Yeah.
Safety is primary goal for us, so it takes a lot of staff. We constantly have 67 people on staff. We hire 102 kids. So I think the best thing about it is also giving those, I don't know, those people that are 16 years old, those first timers that ever had a job, the opportunity to create that starting point for them. I always tell them that, they look at me and they're thinking, how the heck do you own this thing? Like, they always question it. They're always like, how does this happen? And I don't think it's not possible. I think they just need to realize that I had a first job at 13 years old, and, everyone has their first job, but you can't always act like you have your first job. You have to start growing. You have to challenge yourself. You have to level up. And I know everyone that works for me, it's a constant thing. You better level up. If you're not growing with me, then you're getting left behind. You're getting left behind.
Well, I want to wrap things up, but I've
Sure.
got to ask you just some fun off the wall questions just to kind of see where you're at.
Okay.
What's your go-to seat on an airplane?
The front. The front.
You're the
spot.
front girl. Are you an aisle or a window?
I'm a window.
So you get on, you go straight to
Yeah.
the aisle, to the window.
The window, yeah.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've cut a pizza with?
Oh gosh, a fork. I mean,
you
if you don't
cut
have
a
anything else,
pizza with a fork. How do you do that?
I don't know.
Is it
I
like a
mean,
thick crust or a thin crust?
Yeah. Well, the New Yorker pizzas are like, you tear it and then you can do a fork. I don't know. And then you never use any utensils when you eat a New York pizza.
Have you found New York pizza in Midland? No, there's not.
No, but there is an Italian place that new Italian pizza place
Here?
in Fawdry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the owner's full Italian, so it's a good spot.
Where's the best place to eat a pizza in New York?
Oh gosh. I would say Dominic's. Right
Really?
underneath the bridge. Underneath the
Okay.
Brooklyn
We've
Bridge.
been to New York quite a bit. My
I
daughter-
was
Yeah.
I was about that was my favorite spot.
Yeah.
Really?
Sitting under the bridge,
Uh.
eating a slice. He will, if you ask for ranch dressing
Oh God, no.
or pineapple on your
Yeah, I know.
pizza,
I love this. Yes.
he will cuss you out and kick you out the door.
Really?
It's fantastic. to
Dominic, yeah,
watch.
because you can't eat pizza with
No.
ranch.
And if I had a fork, and cutting it, he would probably no.
Yeah, he would definitely kick you out.
Yeah,
no, no.
forks
out
too.
with that one.
He definitely would.
Yeah.
There's
A fork.
me and a buddy. So I worked at PIX 11,
Uh-huh.
and so a buddy and I would go over there and grab some food, and our favorite pastime was just watching him get mad.
That
It's
would be
so
That
great.
would be
Those
funny.
Italians.
That would be
You
funny.
gotta love their hot head.
Yeah, my daughter has auditioned twice now for the Rockettes.
Oh wow.
And so she wants to live in New York. So I
Okay.
need to get her and you together.
Oh, yeah.
Because y'all are the same.
Okay.
She is a country girl, and then she turns around and she's all New York.
Okay. Yes.
Everything about
We're a
New
different breed. Let's
Yeah,
just say that.
She
Yeah.
is,
Good
and
for
she's
her.
motivated. She's determined. I mean, she was 18 and tried out for Rockettes, which they're
That
all
is
in their
so-
20s.
That's
Right,
impressive,
and then she went back this last year and tried out again. She's like, I don't care if I'm not going to make it. I want the experience. I
Yes.
want to be around the best, and the
yes.
way to do that,
It's to
you know,
go
it's
there.
like 17 spots, but there's 200 girls there. The chances are not good that you're going to make it, but she was just immersed in it and
Yeah.
wanted to do that.
Yeah,
So,
she loves failing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna win. Like,
what's your favorite holiday tradition?
oh, Thanksgiving. Oh, that Thanksgiving Day parade. Yes. in New
Thanksgiving
York.
Day Parade. Yeah,
Thanksgiving
have you
Day
been
parade.
to it?
Oh yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, when I
Really?
lived there. Yeah, that was a staple. Yeah, all the snow globes I got. Just getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning and seeing all the balloons.
You got to
come
get
to
there
life.
that early.
Oh
huh?
yeah, you got to get there
Oh,
that
yeah.
early, and you got to get up way over by like the 60s.
So if we
street.
go sometime to see this, would you help me like
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out where to go and
Oh,
where
yeah.
to stay and all that? Because
Oh, yeah, we have a
you'll be my
spot.
personal travel.
Oh no, yeah,
agent,
yeah.
so-
I'm a good tour guide when it comes to New York. Like I know
Awesome.
exactly the corner to sit and watch the New York City parade. Yeah.
What celebrity would you want to arm wrestle?
I'm not a celebrity kind of person. Like I don't get ooh and ah over them. Like
Yeah.
you see them on the subway all the time, and I don't give any of the celebrities credit enough. I don't think they did anything great. I don't
awesome.
know. I just don't get excited about them.
Awesome.
But I do think people are that have a business mindset are pretty impressive. So I don't know. Arm wrestle. I don't know. Maybe Tony Robbins. I don't know. I don't know.
Robbins?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
brilliant. That's
someone.
awesome.
A Dave Ramsey. I mean, just those that just
Somebody in
really,
financial world, right?
yeah, someone that really is kind of interesting to
That's
listen
awesome.
to. Yeah, I get a kick out of those guys that really bet on themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're
Well,
pretty neat.
thank you for what you
Thank
do
you.
in our community. I want to wrap things up
Sure.
with two questions I ask everybody. So we're sitting at this table, we're having a conversation. I think it's valuable and important of who we allow to pour into us. So who do you listen to? Who do you allow to pour into your life?
Oh, it's my dad. He's my mentor. I mean, yeah, my dad's long storyteller, but conversationally, let me make my own opinion. Let me debate. When we drove for a long time to work, he would let me listen to Rush Limbaugh going into work. It might have been an hour drive, and then listen to the liberal guy. So he always gave me two perspectives in life, and then he made me formulate my own thought process. He wasn't telling me; he was letting me create it. And I think we don't do that for our kids. We tell them what we want them to think, and it's great that that's what a mentor does. They put little pieces in your brain to kind of make you think. And I think, my father's always going to be that person to give me
Is
that.
he still alive?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the partner in Urban Air Midland, and we've.
But he doesn't live here.
No,
No.
he doesn't. He's just let me run and create that opportunity, and he's just seen me, do what I've done, and seeing his daughter challenge himself. So it's been great. But yeah, that I'm really blessed that I came from that kind of person.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been special.
What do you want to be known for?
Just creating a really safe environment for kids to play in this town, knowing that it's just it's a good spot. It's a good safe place. Maybe not just even Midland and Jackson, Mississippi, where crime is really high. Just a safe space for kids to enjoy themselves. I don't like bullying in the park. I want to always keep it a great experience. It's hard with finding employees. The challenge is there, but just making sure that we have a great environment for people to come to work. The youth can work here, and we give a great space for kids to play. And I just hope, giving them go-karts and slides and bumper cars, I don't know what else I can give them, spoiling them. So
I love the concept of the little gym and the cognitive learning and stuff. So thank you. I applaud you and all that you're doing. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for your time. Ginamarie Soto, everyone. Thank you. And we will see all of you next week. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Have a great week.
Elevate your operation with Performance Chemical Company, the pioneers in redefining chemical solutions for the oil and gas industry in the Permian Basin. Unveiling groundbreaking ideas since 2017, our dry chemistry plant stands as a testament to innovation. Our products and services revolutionize water treatment, production, midstream, and saltwater disposals. We're your strategic partners in optimizing investments, slashing operating expenses. Performance Chemical Company. How you get there matters.